Relationships. Can two people walk together without agreeing on the direction? Amos 3:3. Having the right relationships will help you to soar in life. They're like the wind beneath your wings. But the wrong relationships will drag you down. They're like a ball and chain around your feet. To know which relationships are good for you and which are not, here are three guidelines. Number one, when a relationship is not working, acknowledge it. Sometimes you must cut your losses. The old saying goes, when you're in a hole, stop digging. Accept the fact that sometimes your efforts are not enough and that you can't help everyone. Releasing someone doesn't mean they will never get better. It just means that God is more qualified to help them than you are. Number two, there's a difference between helping someone and carrying them. This is particularly so when you're dealing with a person who always turns to you for help and tries to make you feel guilty when you're not there for them. Don't try to be someone's God. Your constant help may actually be a hindrance. You have become a crutch and an enabler. Step back and let them learn to walk on their own. Number three, don't allow your fear of criticism to restrain your common sense. Here is a fact of life that you must learn to live with. Not everyone will be pleased with you. The truth can hurt and often alienate, but it's still the truth. There are times when you must tell it like it is and accept the consequences and disapproval. The only way to avoid criticism is to always say what everyone desires to hear, which is equal to living a lie in a relationship. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. Proverbs 13:20. Not everyone who starts out with you is capable of going where God wants to take you. Sometimes they don't have the emotional capacity required. Other times, their vision differs from yours. So, how can you know when it's time to exit a relationship? Avoid relationships that leave you depleted. This calls for establishing clear boundaries for the relationship up front. You don't have time to spend your life straightening out misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and injured egos. How far are you willing to go? How much are you inclined to invest? When you overspend your budget, you go broke. Bankrupting yourself emotionally and physically to make someone else feel needed might sound noble, but it's not. Emotionally and physically bankrupt people end up with everything from nervous breakdowns to extramarital affairs. And even when they don't, they fail to reach their God given destination in life because they're dragging too much weight. When you feel a relationship is not working, pause and take a look. View the situation objectively instead of emotionally, examining all the facets of it. Sometimes certain aspects of a relationship should be terminated and other areas maintained. It's possible to have relationships that work in one area but not in another. Compartmentalizing will save many important relationships because it requires you to see them in sections. It's possible to remove a section and still have a lot left to enjoy. Yes, it takes work and communication, but it is often worth it. There may be common interests that need to be maintained, while others need to be invalidated before all is lost. Don't participate in the things these people do. Ephesians 5:7. Letting go of a person doesn't mean you no longer love them. It just means the relationship is not right for you. How should you handle it? 1. A gradual separation is sometimes the best solution. There are relationships you need to get out of for your own good. But because you have a cord to cut doesn't mean that it should be ripped. Dissolving a relationship is stressful, so try to end it graciously. If the cord that binds you is constant phone calls, emails, and visits, that's a good place to start. Number two, don't keep going back. Some of us are just so nice that we can't end the relationship and move forward. We keep going back, second guessing ourselves, and reevaluating our decision. Make it one time, make it right, and make it decisive. Often people will come back to entice you by suggesting you were wrong the first time. That's why you must resolve any doubt before you make the decision in the first place. If you find yourself in a pattern of going back to old, unhealthy relationships, you may be drinking from the wrong well. You may be trying to fill an emptiness in your heart that only God can fill. When Jesus met the woman at the well, she had been through 5 failed marriages and was living with man number 6. He told her, "Whoever drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never thirst. But the water that I will give him will become in him a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life." John 4:13-14.